formulated by American scientists Walter Alvarez and Louis Alvarez. This theory states that a meteorite impact may have triggered the extinction event by ejecting a huge quantity of rock debris into the atmosphere, enshrouding the Earth in darkness for several months or longer. With no sunlight able to penetrate this global dust cloud, photosynthesis ceased, resulting in the death of green plants and the disruption of the food chain. A major turning point in the history of life occurred 2.5 billion years ago, when bacteria evolved the ability to photosynthesize. That is, to use sunlight to split carbon dioxide and release energy. Unfortunately, the major byproduct of photosynthesis is oxygen, which was toxic to the anaerobic organisms that appeared on Earth as far back as 3.5 billion years ago. 200 million years after the evolution of photosynthesis, enough oxygen had built up in the atmosphere to render most of the Earth's anaerobic life extinct.
Few people realize that psychologists also take a vow, promising that at some point in their professional lives they'll publish a book, a chapter, or at least an article that contains this sentence: "The human being is the only animal that." We're allowed to finish the sentence any way we like, but it has to start with those 8 words. For instance, those psychologists who finished the sentence with "can use language" were particularly well remembered when chimpanzees were taught to communicate with hand signs. And when researchers discovered that chimps in the wild use sticks to extract tasty termites from their mounds and to bash one another over the head now and then, the world suddenly remembered the full name and mailing address of every psychologist who had ever finished the sentence with "uses tools."
Cracking open the hard nut requires the correct toolkit, and they're very careful about selecting stones. One as an anvil, the other as a hammer. Biologists here have numbered the stones to find out which ones the chimps like to use. The anvil must be levelled properly, and then the nut placed without rolling off. Each blow is finely judged to crack the casing without crushing the nut inside.
I've never before spoken the sentence, but I'd like to do so now with you as my witness. The human being is the only animal that thinks about the future.